Ladies and gentlemen, I've got an exciting episode planned for you guys where I'm going to try to finish as much of the village as possible. We always make massive strides in these episodes, and I'm not intending to stop now. In the last episode, I added a cafe and this clock tower to the town down below, and if this video ends up being something you like, remember this is what I do on this channel, so hit that subscribe button, feel free to leave a like and comment. But for now, let's get right into the video. Alright, welcome back ladies and gentlemen. Last episode I talked about getting this place sorted. We still have all these squiggly lines of coarse dirt going around and this entire mess left after the vineyard was here. So that's really something I'd like to do something about in the intro time-lapse of this episode. But before I get into that, I think we kind of have to acknowledge the fact that the channel's gotten to 1,000 subscribers. And I know it was more like 2 episodes ago when I actually hit 1,000 subs. And I was actually meaning to say something in both of those videos, but I just never got around to it because I had so much else to do. You know how it is around here. I get really busy in these episodes. So, you know, 1,000, it's a big number. It's got 4 digits. You guys are the champs, and I appreciate your existence. And I've had a few people ask, what are you going to do, Antlerboy, for your 1,000 subscriber special? And I guess I'll just let you know right now. There's not going to be one. And okay, yeah, I understand. I hear what you're saying. What? Why is there not going to be a 1,000 subscriber special? A lot of other channels do that kind of thing. And I guess my reasoning is kind of like this. I never watch those videos because when you subscribe to a channel, you subscribe for a specific type of content. In this case, you guys have probably subscribed for me building my kingdom right here. So instead of wasting my time giving you guys something that you don't want, I figure I'll just make more of this content that you actually do want. It's what I want to do anyway, and so everybody wins. You know, with that said, happy 1K. Yeah, those were just my flight rockets. We'll get actual fireworks when we hit like 10K or something, I promise. That had nothing to do with me not knowing the actual crafting recipe for exploding firework rockets. No, wouldn't be something like that. Couldn't be. I know all the crafting recipes clearly, like... But okay, look, listen, hear me out. We gotta clean this area up a lot, and honestly, in the past few episodes, like the intro time-lapse hasn't really been part of the intro. If you go back to the first few videos, I go into the intro time-lapse like right away. No introduction whatsoever, just time-lapse. But I guess we're gonna keep calling it the intro time-lapse. Even though a more accurate title would be something like, the time-lapse I get done early in the video, where I do stuff that I can't really excuse making a video title from. Yeah, it doesn't really roll off the tongue the same way intro time-lapse does, wouldn't you say? But look, regardless of what we call it, we do need to clean this place up, so let's roll that intro time-lapse. Aw, yeah. And here we go. My big focus in this intro time-lapse was putting in all the roads in the town area here to make it a little bit easier for myself going forward. I made sure to texture in stone brick and andesite everywhere because detail is king, ladies and gentlemen. And I've gotta say, once you guys see this area without the coarse dirt stripes from the vineyard times, you're gonna look at this town with new eyes because it's that big of a difference, to be honest. And last week I asked you guys in my community tab what project you were most excited for in the world here, and most of you guys want to see this town finished, so that's at least exciting for me that I'm doing what you guys want to see. But hey, if you really want to see me prioritize something here in the world, definitely leave it down in the comments below because I read all the comments and hey, you might as well shoot your shot. But it's getting to be high time to get back into first person, so as always, I will see you guys on the other side. Alright, good people, we are back from the intro time-lapse, and as you can see, a few things have changed. I did some gardening over here, and one thing I noticed in the time-lapse footage is that I forgot to put the roof in right here. So that is exactly why I have these concrete blocks on me, and I guess the best way to get up here is just to fly. Is he gonna stick the landing? And... I mean, good enough, I guess. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, boop. Yeah, now that's a lot better. So what has changed? Well, as you can see, all the annoying lines are gone and all of this stuff got cleaned up as well. And I think this is looking a lot more inviting. I left this green spot here in the middle. I think I want to build 2 trees twisting around each other. That could be kind of cool, make it a little bit different from all these other trees that I've built. And then I think where I want to focus my efforts in this episode, well, it would be right here. Fill this spot with some kind of house, maybe build a florist right here. I want to build build this house up with this tower right here. I feel like that would be good to knock out. And then maybe, just maybe, we'll tackle one either right there or right here. I can't really decide yet. It would also be pretty cool if we could turn this into some kind of way to buy baked goods on this side as well. Because right now, the main way to access the bakery would be through right here. But there is this door right here. And the baker could actually access the upstairs where the living quarters is going to be through this door right here. So we don't really need to have this back door just coming into the living quarters. We could turn this into something similar as over here, where basically people could buy baked goods from this side as well. And so if we maybe have a shop right there, have the bakery right here, cafe, florist, I think that's going to create a pretty cool vibe right here. But before we get into building those houses, we got to talk about composition a little bit. Composition and color theory. You might think that those are big words and things you shouldn't be worrying about in your Minecraft builds. But to be honest, Minecraft building is kind of like art. In fact, I'd call it an art form. And look, so far we've been using a lot of colors that work well together, and so really now it just comes down to how we're going to compose our little town right here. And I think our biggest predicament right now is where we're going to put more of these pink roofed houses and where we're going to put more of these teal roofed houses. But listen up, guys, I am not going to bore you with all my color theory nonsense. In fact, instead, I am going to show you exactly what we're going to do with this miniature model of my town that I've made right here. The plan is simple, folks. Here's what we're going to do. As you can see, the teal houses here are few and far between. This one represents the school over here, and this one is the house that's way over here. The first one I ever built. What I'm trying to say is one blob over here equals one house over here, and you're just going to have to trust me that they're placed in the right spot. But the important thing is really just that the color is right over here, and what this tells us is that we need more teal houses spread around, and what it's also telling us is that we need more pinkish roofs over here. And as you guys know, there are a few lots available here for us to build houses, and so what I'm going to do is place out the correct color of roof for these houses so that we can plan a little bit better. So first off, we have this red outlined building over here, which would go right in this spot, and I think we're going teal for that one because it's sorely missing in that location. And then we have the florist shop, which is going to go right here, and since we're missing so much pink over here, I think that's exactly what we're going to do. Now this leaves us with one spot right here and another right here, so I think we'll go another teal, and for this spot, I think we can actually go with the standard brick because most of the brick ones are over there. All right, I think that sounds like a good plan. I hope you guys understand a little bit better how I plan these things out. I mean, usually I just do this kind of thing in my head instead of actually placing the blocks out, but you get what I mean. So I'm just going to go around and place the appropriate block in the appropriate spot, and that way we can get started with building these houses. And I think the plan going forward here is going to be me building up all these houses in a mega epic big time lapse, and then we can go ahead and put in all the details, the shop fronts and everything. So without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's not waste any time and get right into that time lapse. Oh yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, right off the bat here in this mega time lapse, we're starting off with this diagonal house right here. And unlike the other three houses that I built, this one doesn't actually really have a purpose, but most buildings in towns aren't actually shops, so we need to have a few just residential buildings. So I felt building this one on a diagonal would make it stand out a little bit more than just being a plain building. And what I did to mix it up a little bit is add a splash of color around the windows with the warped wood. But while this house is being built, guys, I just want to tell you once again about my Discord server. You can find it in the About tab of my channel. So if you're looking for a place to get inspiration for your awesome Minecraft builds, definitely come over and check it out. And I just gotta say that I love this closing shot coming through the trees here. But next up, we've got our big boy buildings that are going to be housing some of the shops here in the town. And first up is the florist. Ventia is a place where I've definitely placed down over thousands of flowers. And so it would make a lot of sense for someone to be selling those flowers here in the town. And as you can see, I went through quite a few iterations for this entryway right here, which just goes to show that if you're not happy with something, feel free to change it while you're building. And speaking of changing things up, I've been building with the same style here in Ventia for a really long time. So I wanted to do something with the same same theme, but mix it up just slightly. And as you can see on screen right now, I diverged from the standard A-frames that I've been using, and I'm also really happy with these windows that stick out from the wall a bit. It gives the build some more depth, and I found it to be a nice way to fill out an otherwise just empty flat wall. But with the trim of the roof, you'll see that I went with this slightly rounder frame, and when I put in the full roof later, you'll see that it's still quite steep, so any rain would fall off, but this does at least let me mix it up a little bit and not build the same thing over and over again, and it makes it a bit more interesting for you guys. So that's what I've done with all these builds in this episode. And right here at the front of the house, you'll see this is where we're going to have the entrance to the florist shop. So right after the time lapse in first person, we're going to be decorating it with tons and tons of flowers. For now, it just looks like any old house, but we're going to take care of that real soon. For this next one, we're going to be tackling this red diagonal outline that has a tower, and this is actually the build that I'm most happy with in this episode. I really love how the tower came out itself, which you'll see here in a second. I did struggle a bit to get a base I was happy with to get going, but as you can see here, I've been using the sandstone and dark oak palette a lot. I think the two blocks work really well together, and it gives that sort of German Tudor vibe almost, which makes a lot of sense since most of the inspiration I take for these builds in Venthia are from Germany, Austria, or Italy. And with that said, my most Italian-inspired build is of course the monastery up on the mountain, but I did try to do something kind of similar with the tower here. And what's funny is the top of the tower is almost inspired by the castle on the other side of the mountain, so this build is kind of those mixed together. But I really love that I could incorporate some quartz into this one, and I feel like the fences add a really nice level of detail with the dark oak. And down here on the street, I wanted to make a really narrow passage into the square. In the oldest part of town in the city where I live, there are these super narrow alleyways in between some of the buildings. And so to create kind of a similar feeling, I added lots and lots of leaves to this area to create this really narrow path through the bushes. And as a final touch, I added a chiseled sandstone block to the tower here, and I'm just super happy with how it came out in the end. It's exactly what this square needed. Moving on here past my monster of shulker boxes, the people of Venthia are going to need somewhere to shop for their clothes. Because even though the weather's really nice and you might be inspired to walk out in your birthday suit, that's not really a legal option in the old playbook now, is it? So what you're gonna have to do is get yourself over to the tailor shop, which is what we're building right now. And for this one, I went with a new interesting palette of the classic dark oak, of course, and the brown mushroom blocks. And honestly, I wasn't expecting this to look this amazing, but I think these two blocks mix really well, but most importantly, they go super awesome with the warped logs that I used for the roof. But guys, it's getting to be that time towards the end of the time lapse when I say it's time to check this out in first person. So I'll be right back with you guys after the end of this time lapse, and of course see you on the other side. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and I gotta say, I am very happy with all the progress we've made. I mean, the town is looking splendid with all the new color we've added to this place. See, before it didn't look as colorful as it looks now, and I'm really loving that tower in the middle. It's really coming along, and everything has gone according to plan, you know, according to my blocks that I laid out over here. And so I figure we'll take a look at a few things here that weren't really apparent in the time lapse. The first thing here is that this square right here is also coming out quite nicely, and I think I want to put something like a well here in the middle just to fill the space. I do love what it's looking like though with all the houses. So we definitely need to build something awesome looking right here in the next episode, but overall, wow, I'm super happy with how this came out. And I also mentioned this little pathway right here, and I love how cramped and cozy it feels to walk through. That is so awesome. And then over here, we of course have the completed square, which is missing a few details like the trees here in the middle, and of course the shop fronts, which is what we're we're going to be tackling here in the rest of this episode. But looking at this, I really wish I lived in Venthia because the weather, well, it's getting better where I live. It could be a bit better, you know what I mean? Ooh, and you guys definitely need to tell me in the comments how you feel about the brown mushroom blocks being used here. I really love how this looks. There's just something about it that looks awesome, but right here, I figure we're going to tear out this wall and just make some viewing windows. Because of the old bartering farm, I do have an infinite supply of leather, so we can make a lot of armor sets looking pretty cool in here. And I did add these lanterns hanging from the top here, and I love the feeling of running under here. And look, we do have to address the elephant in the room here, the shulker monster behind me. We definitely need to build something over here, and you guys should tell me what it is, because I could just build another tree right here, but I don't know. If you have any awesome suggestions, definitely leave them down below. But man, is this connected up the town to this area as well so nicely. And one of my favorite kind of hidden parts of this house is this part with these windows right here. I really love those dark accents in there. It's so awesome looking. But guys, we got to get to work because we have an entire florist shop to decorate the shop front of. And with that in mind, I've accordingly gathered a ton of these gardening items that we can actually place here in front. So I'm doing some thinking how to do this. I think we want to make one of these floral gates to get in because I feel like they look pretty awesome. Yeah, one of these. And I haven't built one in a while, but let's see. Shouldn't be too difficult. All we gotta do is just get some leaves here in the right spots. I mean, figuring out what the right spots are gonna be is gonna be the tough part. Yeah, something just like that. That's a great entrance for a florist shop. And the next idea I had, just like over there, maybe let's add some roses to this thing to make it feel like a rose bush. And I'm gonna try just spamming these everywhere, honestly, just to see what it looks like. Very flowery. I like it. Next up, maybe we can add some more tables with flowers right here. I want to add as many flowers as possible. Yes, very excellent. Next up, I think we'll do tulips. So let's go something like so. And then we, of course, need a row of the 2 tall flowers here in the back. Yeah, what are we missing here? I feel like we could maybe add some hanging flowers as well. What if we just hang this sapling right here? Yes, okay. I like that. All right, I added another one. I think this is looking pretty complete. That's about as flowery as it gets, in my opinion. And obviously, we need to make an interior in here for the shop. But I mean, I gotta build all the interiors around here, so that's really nothing new. But let's get a few more of these shop fronts fixed. I said I wanted to add a bakery right here, or add to the bakery, I guess. So let's try to do something like this. Maybe if we just extend this. Okay, I've reworked this a little bit, so we have another window where you can buy some bread right here. And I've got a few barrels right here, and then this door goes into this area, and obviously we need to mess around with the interior here as well, but at least this makes it so that we have a way to get to the actual residential area through this door, and then this whole section down here is going to be the bakery. So now we just need to add a few little details here, maybe some cookies. And on this side, we have this awning right here with the red and white, so I feel like we should probably do the same over here. We'll do a line of string right here and then just add these. Ooh, we might have to remove that flower pot. All right. I like that. That's good. That's another little shop right here. Excellent. Next up, we've got the tailor over here. So we need to do something about this wall and create some kind of at least partial interior where we're going to show off these different clothes. And let's not make this too difficult for ourselves here. I think we'll just do something like so. Get some trap doors. And we need some kind of backdrop. I think white's going to be best. Ooh, actually, that's going to have to go one back because we're going to have glass panes behind this. And we're going to need some glass panes here. But first, I think we want to add our armor stands. Then we can cover this up with glass. Right, now we just need some actual clothes. So I got myself a lot of leather from the bartering farm. So let's craft up a few different pieces of clothing here. All right, how's this looking? I like this. Yeah, we've got a few different colors right here. I think we want to add another one of these awnings. Maybe since this house already has dark oak accents, we'll do some dark oak stuff right here. Nice, I like that a lot. If you guys have any great ideas, any light bulb moments for this place right here, give them in the comments for sure. I'm thinking maybe making a lemonade stand or something like that. That'll be more fun than just filling it with greenery because it's kind of in the perfect spot. And then for this spot over here, I think I'll just build a tree of some kind, although it would block the view right there. So, not quite sure. Yep. Definitely give some options for this spot right here in the comments as well. Okay, guys, we got a really important comment of the day here from Shady Mason who says, please keep streaming on YouTube. Now, I know it's been a little while since I last streamed. I've done 3 streams so far, and it's become obvious to me that my internet speed is not quite good enough in my room where I sit and record this. So what I've done is I've gone and bought myself a 20-meter long Ethernet cable, so hopefully I should be able to get that fixed and situated pretty soon. So I will keep streaming on YouTube, but a few other details about that is that I'm also going to be streaming on Twitch, and you might say to yourself, Antlerboy, what are you going to be streaming on Twitch? Well, I'm going to keep the YouTube streams strictly Ventia oriented, so just Minecraft, just Ventia, just this world, this series, pretty much. If I'm not in this world, I'm probably going to be designing something in creative mode for this world on stream, but everything's going to have to do with Ventia right here. But on Twitch, I'm going to be doing more sort of random stuff. And I know a lot of people have been looking for that face reveal. I mean, listen, you guys get to see my beautiful face here every single episode, but I will be doing a face reveal, and that will most likely happen over on Twitch, and then eventually you guys will get to see it over here, I guess, but on Twitch, the point is to have face cam the whole time. But over there, I'm going to be doing ridiculous things like taking drawing suggestions from you guys in chat and just doing some digital art. I have some really great ideas for some streams that are going to be coming up here pretty soon, probably within the month or 2 over on Twitch, and Minecraft streams here on YouTube should be back within a week of this episode's release. So Shady Mason, don't worry about it. Still going to be streaming on YouTube. Ow. And also on Twitch. But man, the town is looking really wonderful from here, and we really got everything done that I wanted to here in this schematic right here. Unfortunately, we're not going to have time to add the trees here. That's probably going to be coming in the next intro time lapse. And exciting news, in the next episode, I'm going to be finishing up the entire town here, so this section's going to be filled. Obviously, we're probably going to continue building up on these tiers, but for the episodes coming after the next one, I have a pretty interesting project in mind that I think most of you are going to really enjoy. But that being said, I am both out of rockets here in my last slot and out of time, guys. Gotta get some rockets, though, for the outro. Like, I can't do the flyaway thing if I don't... Yeah, you get it. But ladies and gentlemen, remember to go to the About tab of my channel so that you can join the Discord server. We'd love to have you over there. And as always, if you watch this video all the way to the end, then you're the champ, and I appreciate your existence. And until we see each other next time, have a good one.